Hey everybody, welcome to High Quality Trades, the channel where I give you my highest quality technical analysis on the stock market, and we go over simple support and resistance levels, trend line breaks, and pattern formations, and I give you the price targets of where price is headed in the coming days. So let's get into it. In today's video, we will be going over the SPY, the triple Qs, the VIX. I will be giving out some bullish setups that I'm seeing in the market on Adobe stock, Tesla, Google, and CF Industries. So first up, we got the SPY on the 4-hour time frame. On Friday, the SPY managed to close at 554.31. It reached a high of 555.02 and a low of 551.26. We were positive 0.22% on the day. We've had a bullish last 2 weeks in the market, and it does look like price is going to continue moving higher. If we notice here on the charts, we have a falling broadening wedge pattern. Now, if this pattern does complete, that does signal for price to reach upwards of this 575 level in the coming days. Right now, we're sitting at resistance here at 554.79. Price does need to get above this level to continue pushing higher. We also have resistance here at 556.80 and then another resistance level here of 559.77. But as long as my price manages to break through these levels in the coming days, we should be headed upwards to this gap fill area here at 564.42. If we're able to get above this last area of resistance, then we will be headed to that full pattern completion upwards of that 575 level. So if we go into the 15-minute, we are above the 200 period moving average, which is a bullish signal for a price to continue moving higher in the market. As long as we stay above the 200 on the 15-minute, we will continue our upwards momentum. Now, price can fall all the way down towards this 200 period. It's more the trajectory of the moving average that is important, of most importance. So this line continues moving higher. Even if we consolidate below it for a small period of time, that's still bullish. Back out on the 4-hour, if we manage to fall down and just retest our upper descending trend line of the falling broadening wedge, well, that's still bullish. We'll have support here at the trend line, and then also this 200 period moving average on the 4-hour will act as sub-support as well. If we go out into the daily and bring up our MACD, does look like we're about to cross the zero line come Monday morning, and that is a bullish signal for price momentum to continue its upwards trajectory, however you say that word. Anyways, even now onto the weekly time frame, does look like we are above all of our moving averages, and we have two full body bullish candlesticks that is signaling bears have gone into hibernation at the current moment. Out onto the monthly time frame, this is where it gets a little fishy, guys. This is a pin bar type candle, which is a bearish candlestick, which does usually form towards the top of bullish uptrends and does signal a possible downtrend in the market. Even if we're to close all the way at new all-time highs, that would still be a hammer candle at the top of an uptrend. So it is possible that we come all the way back down towards this 20 period moving average towards the end of this year. Ultimately, we'll just have to see in 2 weeks how this candle closes, and then we'll reevaluate our technical analysis at that time. Alright guys, let's go on to the triple Qs, monthly time frame. So the triple Qs is also printing a pin bar type candlestick. Similar to SPY, if this comes up and breaks all-time highs towards the end of this month, it still looks like a bearish candlestick. It would be something like a hammer candle at the top of an uptrend. Moving down into the weekly time frame, we are above all the moving averages. We have bullish full body candles that are signaling for further price momentum in the market. Onto the daily time frame. And if we pull up our MACD, looks like the MACD has started to curl up and creating green bars on the histogram, and we are about to cross through the zero line, which is bullish for price to continue its upwards momentum. Dropping down into the 4-hour time frame. The QQQ has also broken out of a falling broadening wedge pattern. Now this is a bullish pattern that would complete upwards of 487.31. Price is currently at resistance here at 475.60. If price manages to get above this level come the early part of next week, then we will be headed up towards 484.49. And if price manages to break above that level, we have this gap fill area here at 495. So that's what I'm looking for the QQQs to do come next week. Also, if we drop down into the 15-minute, we are above that 200 period moving average, and price is continuing to push higher. As long as we stay above this moving average, I see no reason to be bearish on the QQQs. Alright guys, let's go over the VIX. We'll stay here on the 15-minute time frame. Right now, we are below our 200 period moving average, which is bearish for price to continue pushing lower. We have fallen below our support level here, 1537. And it looks like our next resistance level, our next support level won't be until 1396. If we go out onto the daily time frame, the MACD is pushing towards the zero line and about to cross down through it, which would be bearish for the VIX and bullish for the market. Going out onto the weekly time frame, we did print that extremely bearish inverted hammer candle last week, and we have gotten follow through towards the downside. If we were just to base our technical analysis off the weekly time frame, it does look like price is pushing towards the lows here around 1062. And we'll just look at the monthly for fun. This is one bearish looking candle on the month. Ultimately, we'll just have to see how this candle closes out the month, but this is an extremely bearish inverted hammer candle with a giant wick. Alrighty, that is it for the VIX. Now let's go over some bullish setups I'm seeing in the market. We will be sticking to the 4-hour and the daily time frames only. So Adobe stock has managed to break above its upper resistance level of this falling broadening wedge towards the end of last week. As long as price manages to stay above this trend line, we should be pushing up to this 562.02 level and then breaking through it and pushing onwards to this 570.80 level. If we do get a full pattern completion of this falling broadening wedge, it does signal that price should be reaching up towards 599 in the coming days. Going out onto the daily, if we do bring up our MACD and the RSI, the MACD has just barely started to push through the zero line and create green bars on the histogram. This is bullish for price to continue pushing higher. We will have to break through these resistance levels here, but I see no reason at the current moment that we won't be continuing our upwards trajectory. Okay guys, that is it for Adobe. Let's go over Tesla. So Tesla stock has managed to break out of this falling price channel towards the end of last week, and we are pushing higher. If we get a full completion of the price channel, this does signal for a price to reach upwards of 235.22 in the coming days. Looks like there's a giant gap that needs to be filled on a daily time frame that will meet resistance at, but ultimately we should be filling it, and that fills somewhere around the 246.49 level. As long as price continues moving upwards, it does look like we're breaking out of our long-term resistance trend line, which is very bullish for Tesla, and will be signaling the next resistance level on the weekly time frame to be somewhere upwards of this 299.300 level. Alright guys, let's move on to Google. So Google now is reaching the upper trend line of this descending broadening wedge pattern. Price is signaling that it's going to break out of this level come the early part of next week. We have the MACD on the 4-hour about to push through the zero line and it's creating green bars. So that is a bullish signal for price to continue moving higher. Now if we go out onto the daily time frame, this is where it gets bullish. We have gotten our first green bar to produce on the histogram here, and the MACD is just starting to curl up. This is a bullish signal for price to continue moving higher in the coming days. So as long as Google manages to break out of this falling broadening wedge pattern, it does signal for price to push through this gap fill area here, which fills at 167.81, and then we'll push upwards of this 175.72 level. This is a pretty steep falling broadening wedge, but if we do get a full pattern completion, it is signaling price to reach upwards of the 178.42 level, and I believe it will continue pushing higher. Now, on to CF Industries. This might be a long-term play because it is a weekly pattern break, but is bullish for price. So right now we're looking at a bullish pennant pattern here on the weekly time frame. Now, if we do get a full pattern completion of this pennant on the weekly, if we just take the opening here and move it over to the breakout area, this is signaling for price to reach upwards of this 153.74 level, but this is weeks to months out. Okay, onto the 4-hour time frame. Looks like price has broken out of this price channel that it has been in for the past couple weeks. This is bullish as long as we stay above our upper descending trend line for a price to reach up to 188 in the coming days. Our first resistance level that we need to break through is 82.26. But as long as we get above this level, early part of next week, we should be pushing upwards of this 86.48 level in the coming days, possibly a week or two. This is a longer term play because the pattern is so big. This will take some time to come into fruition. Alright guys, and with that is the end of this video. Thank you for watching High Quality Trades, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.